Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover of St. Petersburg, and we have a car review here that I've been dying to bring to you. This is a 2016 Porsche 911 GT3 RS. But before we get into this sun-kissed orange of a 911, let's talk about what's going on here. The Porsche 911, dial 911 if you want to win endurance races, if you want to win sports car championships, because no other brand has won the coveted 24 Hours Le Mans more than Porsche. Not only overall, but in the individual classes as well. Now, the 911 kind of mystifies gravity, physics, and science because that flat six is past the rear axle. So this is truly a rear engine vehicle, not a mid-engine vehicle, but staying true to its form. That flat six hanging out back there, producing that power and such unique handling dynamics. Now, what's fascinating is that over the years, the 911 has definitely been the textbook dictionary definition of evolution, not revolution, because those lines, unmistakable. I actually get comments from Martians that live on Mars that are able to see Porsches from their distance. They know it's a 911 as soon as they see it. And you're definitely not going to mistake this car for anything else. Being a GT3, we're talking about taking that level of performance for the 991 chassis, bringing it up a notch, and then RS, which means Rennsport or racing sport, takes it up to a whole new level. It's like getting in to your car, just taking that volume and just cranking it all the way up. What's amazing is that this car is a supercar, because when you look at the performance, when you look at the way it handles and those track times, it's gonna make McLarens, Lamborghinis, and Ferraris really run for the hills when they see this pull up to the track. So let's go ahead, let's find out, is this one of those ultimate supercar killers, the ultimate 911, the 911 GT3 RS? Let's find out. Right off the bat, like I was saying, the lines of this vehicle, unmistakable. When you get a GT3 is actually wider than a standard 911. This GT3 RS is another 1.5 inches wider than a GT3. So looking at the headlight housing, yes, we moved away from the pure round headlight design going back to 1963, but still staying true to that overall form. LED daytime running lamps, headlamps, everything blacked out on the interior, looking really sharp. You'll notice that you have more exterior lighting, and then functionality is the name of the game. Fully functional vents. I love the wire mesh. You can see how that lower splitter extends off, but then it also folds down because it's working extra hard to keep air from going underneath the front of this vehicle, because we don't want lift. Now, as we come across the center, I love the timeless sports car racing design. You're gonna have wire mesh up top, wire mesh in the front, everything fully functional, and everything there is for an aerodynamic purpose. The GT3 RS not only takes horsepower to a new level, but also overall weight. And when I talk about weight, I'm talking about they don't even put an actual Porsche emblem. This is a sticker. It's totally flat, covered by the clear coat underneath, sitting there. That's just one extra way that all of these different parts are lighter than your standard 911. And like I said, sitting here, low, wide, it looks like it's ready for the 12 hours of Sebring. Let's get it started. Going up onto that, this is a front-mounted trunk. You can see the beautiful clean lines, and then get ready for some of my favorite parts of this vehicle. As we work our way around, you'll see how that arrow comes around up top. You're gonna get that extra width. This is for actual downforce, believe it or not, and for aerodynamic efficiency. This is stuff learned from the racetrack and poured onto this 911. And then check out those wheels. Absolutely massive, wrapped in those Pilot Super Sport tires. We have carbon ceramic brakes that are bigger than the size of the sun, two-piece, yellow, bright yellow calipers, which signifies that these are carbon ceramic rotors. 6-piston, they're gonna squeeze those rotors. You're gonna be able to get, these things look like lemons, you're gonna be able to get lemon juice. When life gives you lemons, get in a 911 GT3 RS, accelerate and then brake hard and make some lemonade, because you're gonna make tons of it with this. Love the spoke design. You have those center locking race style wheels, the RS badge, flat black, looking so absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? 20 inches in diameter. The way that it just sits, man, I just want to stare at it all day long. Going into the fender, of course, you're going to have your fuel up front, the gas tank up front. I was almost going to say fuel cell because you have those in a race car, and this is pretty much a race car for the street. Color matched on the mirror caps. You can see the flat black as it extends on that side sill. And one of my favorite things about this GT3 RS, like a lot of 911s, is of course that nice flared out rear fender. Functional air scoops on the side. We have a naturally aspirated flat 6. This thing is gonna scream like the greatest harmony you've ever heard in your life. Looking at the rear wheels, if you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, those wheels look really massive. They're actually an inch larger in diameter. So these are 21-inch wheels. You're still, of course, getting carbon ceramic rotors, 2-piece rotors with those massive lemon calipers. But the crazy news is 21-inch, 325 on the width. So if that wing isn't going to give you the downforce to help you stick, you're going to have so much rubber on the back of this thing. It's going to be like two big pieces of chewed up Hubba Bubba bubble gum, or maybe some big league chew that you just stuck to the back of the car to give you that grip as you're going around Sunset Bend at the 12 Hours of Sebring. Let's do it. Coming around the rear, that beautiful flared fender. Look at the size of this wing. I almost want to buy this car just so I could have my Thanksgiving dinner right here. Get the whole family, the whole Ladies Rides family, the turkey, the cranberry sauce, the mashed potatoes. Look at it. This is true race car meets street car. Beautiful flow, obviously going to give you that great downforce. You got the flat black end plates, and then when you get to the rear, that's where we find the engine. You're going to have that flat black, allowing all that heat. See all the work that they did to get the heat off the back of the car. GT3 RS, is it an emblem? No, it's just a sticker. Got to cut weight. We're cutting weight everywhere in this vehicle. And then one of my favorite parts of the GT3, and especially this RS, is how they have that twin outlet exhaust nice and close to the center, surrounded by rear diffuser, looking so damn sexy. Why don't we go ahead, let's pop this rear engine hatch and see if we can see any of the beautiful engine. All right, guys, we got the rear engine cover popped. Obviously, all this carbon fiber, super light. Somebody actually just called me while we were doing this review. It was actually a Ladies Rides family member, and they said, Joe, how do you work on the engine? You get from it from the top? No, you gotta get from the engine on the bottom side. You gotta put this up on a hoist or a lift to get to that engine. But let's see what we can see while this engine cover is lifted. There is some carbon fiber. You're gonna see those cooling fans to help draw that nice cold air out from underneath. And what are we looking at? We are looking at that flat 6. It's a 4-liter flat 6, 500 horsepower. 500 horsepower, 338 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 7-speed PDK, which is fancy talk for a DCT transmission from Porsche. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat. Quarter mile is gonna blaze by at 11.1 seconds at 127 miles an hour. Top speed 193, and this thing only weighs 3,131 pounds. But you can see that GT3 RS badge, that 4-liter, telling you this is a 4.0, that 4-liter flat 6, naturally aspirated. It screams to almost 9,000 RPM. Why don't we go fire it up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're in this Porsche 911 race car, because that's really what it is. GT3 RS. I know you're at that point. Well, Joe, how much is this? First of all, this car only has 5,000 miles on it, so somebody did not enjoy it very much. Second of all, while we were filming, it sold. Thankfully, we're able to continue with the review, and these are the types of cars that they get at Jaguar Land Rover of St. Petersburg. But if you want to know how much it costs brand new, I'll rip that Band-Aid off. $195,000 the way that this one is optioned. Let's see what you get for your race car money. To the door panels, love the leather, love that sun-kissed orange stitching. Bring out the orange from the outside into the end. You got carbon fiber. You see that little cloth tether there? That's actually your door handle to open up the door. We're shaving weight and we're bringing a little bit of color. The beautiful Alcantara microfiber suede material. You have a nice large pocket up front by the speaker grill. That's where you're gonna be able to put a couple bananas. We're gonna talk about fruits and granola bars in this review because we're trying to cut some weight rather than Twinkies. So a couple bananas in there when you get to the dash. Beautiful leather with the stitching. I want to show you something kind of interesting. I love the way Porsche hides their cup holders. Now I am actually going to zonk these. And the reason why I'm zonking them is why on a GT3 RS do we have cup holders? This is a race car for the road, no cup holders. People going to drink their Super Slurpee while they're lapping their favorite racetrack? I don't think so. But as we kind of toggle down, you do have, of course, your required fire extinguisher. And then we do have a nice cargo net here for a couple granola bars. Do not use Nature Valley. Somebody ate Nature Valley granola bars in here and they got crumbs all over the place. So we'll make sure that gets cleaned up because we're trying to cut weight. Speaking of cutting time. We got the chrono package looking good with the clock up top. I can see a little bit of carbon fiber from the frunk. And then we have our AC, our infotainment system. And you know what? You got infotainment system, we got navigation, we got to find out where the racetracks are. Watkins Glen, Circuit of America, Sebring, Laguna Seca, Sears Point. You use your navigation. CD player, you could actually put your Sammy Hagar, I Can't Drive 55, just put it in there, pump up the sound. We got dual climate control, so you don't have to sweat it out at the track. This is going to control that PDK 7-speed DCT transmission. Ultra fast shifts, I'm zonking it. You cannot get a manual in a GT3 RS. That's a bummer in my book. You do get carbon fiber though, and that's not a bummer. Love the way it says GT3 RS. We got our PDK Sport mode. You got the adaptive dampers, all four corners. Make the exhaust loud, make it quiet. I say make it loud and let it sing. You have the lift system so you don't scratch the nose coming in and off the track. And then as we work our way back, more Alcantara with the Porsche name. There is no substitute, and guess what? You have just enough room for 2 more granola bars, and if you like race seats, you get race car seats in here. One-piece backs, the GT3 RS embroidery, the stitching, the carbon fiber. We got the bright red, orange seat belts. Look at the bolstering. This is not just a beefed up street seat. This is a straight up race seat. It even has a rear seat delete, which on a 911, the seats really aren't usable anyways. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind this beautiful steering wheel on our 911 GT3 RS. All right, guys, business time. I want to show you one of these pockets here. Look at how Porsche engineers this. So smart. You could put an iPhone 46 and it's not going to get scratched, and you just close it up. We have our carbon fiber sill plate with the GT3 RS badge that lights up. And then look at the foot box. Aluminum pedals. The only thing that I'm bummed out about is that there's no clutch pedal, but that foot box looks race car right from the get-go. Seats, you can see the bolstering. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of room to put a helmet on, which is great. And then the key fob. Even though you have an actual key fob, you still put the key in this opening and fire off your 911. And the reason why it's on this side goes back to the Le Mans races. They discovered that when the drivers used to start across the track from their car, they fire off a gun, they run, they get in. Well, guess what? You could actually fire off the car with your left hand, put it into gear, get your belts on and get going a lot quicker than if everything was over here. Just, that's the tradition, that's the connection. And then the connection from you to this car is this beautiful steering wheel. Nice size, no flat bottom, we don't need that. Porsche badge, hollowed out, look, no buttons, no infotainment stuff, none of that garbage. You got nice paddles on the back, metal paddles to go up and down that 7-speed. PDK transmission, and then look at that instrumentation. The tach right there in the center, almost 9,000 RPM red line, and then all the other gauges kind of flow away on both sides. Classic Porsche 911. Remember, evolution, not revolution, but you know what? We'll check out the frunk, and then we're going on throttle in this 911. All right, guys, we got that front-mounted trunk, the frunk open. You can see this is all carbon fiber. This front lid is all beautiful carbon fiber. And then guess what? Even though this is a race car for the road, you do have some usable storage space. You have 13 cubic feet of space. You literally could put 2 full-size carry-ons up front. So you could take the car to the racetrack, stay overnight, and then drive the car home. But you know what? Talking about driving, if you're ready, this guy right here has been waiting for this for years. Let's go on throttle in our 911 GT3 RS. All right, guys, we're inside this 911 GT3 RS. So glad to share with you. I have it in manual shift mode. I'm gonna use those pedals, see just how amazing the PDK transmission is. But if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Ah! Oh my God. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That naturally aspirated flat six, some of the best music I've ever heard coming from an engine. Fast shifts, the location of the paddles, of course, are spot on the money. Porsche has taken all of that great race car heritage, all that experience, and poured it into this 911 GT3 RS like buckets load. Buckets and buckets. Oh, wow, here we go. Pushing the rear of the car to the ground. And that sound. And it's so linear. The power delivery is so linear. It may not have a ton of torque compared to rivals, but boy, oh boy, that torque curve is beautiful. The transmission shifts with such authority. Would I like a manual? Of course, but I ain't gonna be able to outshift this PDK transmission ever, like ever. So it's just one of those things that this car is a beast, an absolute beast. Oh, here we go. Look at that, so balanced. The feedback I'm getting to the wheel is so much information. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable the amount of information I'm getting to the wheel in this 911. You do have a gear indicator right where it should be, right by the tack. Feels great, though. On throttle. Sounds like a Formula One car. To get to the ground. And like I said, you know, with it being a rear engine car, you would think the handling would be just way off, but it works. It works in a 911. Unbelievable. The way the gauges are laid out, the way you can see the peaks of the fenders to give you perfect visual points so that you can hit your marks on the racetrack or on your favorite piece of ribbon road where you live. Shifts with such authority. Such authority. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Alright, guys. Dead stop. On fire, here we go! Yeah! On those brakes. Here we go. This thing is an animal, absolute animal. What a machine, what a machine. The way she communicates to you is second to none. All right, guys, here we go. On throttle, here we go. Unbelievable. The technology in this It's a race car for the road. I get why people love these PDK transmissions. I get it. I totally get it. Wow. What a day. What a day to be able to share this with you. All right, guys, one more time for you. Definitely one more time for me. On 12, here we go. Back to Jaguar, Land Rover, St. Petersburg. I don't want to go back, but we got to get back, bringing back this GT3 RS. I hope you enjoyed the drive. I definitely enjoyed sharing it with you. I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a day here at Jaguar Land Rover of St. Petersburg. I definitely got to thank Jeff, Miro, and the rest of the crew getting us this Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Incredible drive. Amazing experience. Also want to give a huge thank you to my wonderful videographer and wife, Lori. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.